There we go. Hi. Hello. Welcome. And if this is your first time, welcome to our community. If it's not your first time, welcome back. It's Tapping Tuesday. If you don't know what that means, what we do for the next hour on this channel is live. We're going to do an overwhelm and trauma release technique called EFT, which stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques, or tapping. Now, if you're here to try it out, but you're not quite sure how it works or you're feeling insecure about your ability to do it, don't worry. You can follow along with me and you'll get it. You'll have it down by the end of this. If you would like to participate, and sorry, I'm trying to find a way to get comfortable. If you want to participate during this next hour, you can put in the chat things that are bothering you. It could be something that you feel like is in your way. It could be something that you would like to receive, but you're feeling like it's been difficult for you to get there. It could be something small, like a pet peeve, something you feel like is a personality flaw that you wish you didn't have. It could be something huge, like a really damaging relationship that you feel like has really haunted you your whole life. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities, and knowing where to start is just what's bothering you, and we'll work with it from there. And I'll do the best that I can to help you to feel a great amount of relief by the end of our time here today. If there's ever a time that you want to contribute, but you don't feel safe or comfortable putting it out to the world for everyone to see, you can always email me and then I can bring it up anonymously our next session. So I can't do it for today, but if you want to email me at amanda@eftuniverse.com, then I will take care of you and get it up for the next live. All right, I'm going to say hi. Hi, Richard. Hi, Mama Hutch. Hi, Marie. Oh, that always throws me off so much when I do things like that. Better an hour early than an hour late. Hi, Jane. Hi, Bonnie. I'm glad you're here too. He's help with not attaching, not being dragged to the problems of family and friends. Okay. Thank you, Bonnie. That's a great one to bring up. Hi, E. I love you too. Thank you for that. Hi, Kylie. Aw, I love the way you greet me. Is it okay if I say back to you? If I say, hi, beautiful Kylie, does that feel okay to you? Let me know. Hi, Donette. I'm glad that you're here too. I've had endless technology issues for a couple of months. I have to believe it is over. I hope that is for you. It's so frustrating. Hi, Anya. I'm so glad all of you are here. Okay, well, I don't have any emails to bring up to get us started for today. So I know we have a suggestion from Bonnie. Okay, thank you for letting me know, Kylie. If anyone else wants to drop something in the chat, then we can absolutely incorporate that as we go as well. Right now, let's go ahead and take a moment and just get centered in this moment. And if you haven't done that with me before, I like to use a really easy, gentle technique where I'm going to have you draw attention to certain body parts. Now, it's like the tip of your nose, the back of your ears. And I don't want you to feel like, oh, where are they? I just want you to think about it because what that does is pulls your attention into this moment in a way that allows you to feel empowered over it, that doesn't feel forced. Okay. So let's go ahead and take a breath. Okay, and as we're sitting here and just breathing normally, I want you to think about where in space your forehead is. Where's your forehead right now? And if you were to trace it, what shape would your forehead be? Do you have a rectangle? Do you have a parallelogram? Do you have a hairline that would make it something that's a little bit different of a shape like mine? What kind of a shape is your forehead if you were to trace the outline of where your forehead is right now? And remember to breathe. Now focus on where in space the back of your neck is. Just that space that's in between the base of your skull and the tops of your shoulders. It's that little section of your neck right there. Where is that right now? And how is it feeling? Is it feeling tense? Is it feeling strained? Is it feeling like it's being pushed forward, like it's being held backwards? How is that little area of your body feeling right now? The back of your neck. And now focus on where in space the tops of your shoulders are. Both your left and your right, the tops of your shoulders. And if they were to have a light in them that was shining out, what direction would that light be shining? Would it be up at your ceiling? Would it be out towards a wall? Where are the tops of your shoulders? And where in space is your belly button? Where's that belly button right now? And is your belly button comfortable? Is it getting squished by a waistband? Is it warm under some cozy clothing? Is it outside of clothing right now? Where is your belly button? And where in space are the backs of your hip bones? Where's the back side of your hips? Both your left and your right. Remember to breathe. And how about your kneecaps? Where are your kneecaps right now? Your left kneecap and your right kneecap. And if they had light that was beaming out of them, out from the top, what direction would that light be? Would it be in different directions? Are they facing the same direction? And do you suppose it would be a strong beam of light, or would it be a not so strong beam of light? Where are your kneecaps? And breathe. And how about the inside arches of your feet? Both your left and your right. That big arch that goes from the ball of the foot back to the heel. Where are your arches right now in your feet? And finally, where are the tips of your toes? Where are the tips of all of your toes right now? And where are they pointing? Are they pointing in the same direction? Are they in different directions? And are the tips of your toes warmer or colder or the same temperature as the rest of your foot? And let's go ahead and take a breath here. Okay, take just a moment and feel into your body. See if maybe you need to change positions, wiggle around a little bit. And I'm going to set a quick intention for our time here together today. I'm just going to hold my heart. You're welcome to join me in that if you would like. It is my intention that as we go through this session today, that even though we're all around the world and we're all having different experiences, that we are creating a community together right now. And there's real power in that. There's real energy in that. And there's real connection in that. And it's my intention that you feel seen and that you feel valued and that you feel heard and that you know that you being here is important for our community and that it's okay if the way you show up is overwhelmed and frustrated or in some other big emotion, that you're still appreciated and you're still wanted here in our community. And it's my intention that as we go throughout this hour to help you to feel better by the end of it, whether we specifically address what your biggest issue is or not. That just because you are here and you are engaged with other people who are offering up a connective and healing space, that you will feel better as we tap. Okay, let's take one more breath. Okay, I'm going to comments one more time. Hi, Tony. What was I asking for? Suggestions. When we tap, it is helpful for you to have something specific to focus on. So rather than say, I'd like to feel happier today, saying, I would like to feel more positive about my body image. Or if, I feel really sad. Okay, well, I'm grieving that it's been a year since I lost my childhood pet. And I still haven't been able to move beyond that. So I'm asking for specific suggestions on things that you would like to tap on. That helps us give an idea for our community to be able to release something that may be attached to a similar issue that they have, but also just so that I can help you and what it is that you're approaching. I lost my place. There we go. Okay. High stress leading to stomach issues. Okay. Thank you for that, Marie. Elizabeth. Hello. Donette. Blocking myself from trusting others and feeling love. Okay. Hi, Dr. Scott. Your hip backs. Looking for your hip backs and your lighted decaps now. I love that. Thank you, Richard. I recently got this, so I appreciate that. This is the first time I've ever worn it. All right, enough about me. Let's go back up to, Okay, Bonnie, I want to clarify something. So Bonnie is asking help with not attaching and not being dragged into the problems of family and friends. When you do engage, even though it's something that you're trying to not engage, what is your reasoning for it? Is it, if I don't help, they're going to be, out on the street the next day? If I don't help, I'm a bad person. If I don't help, they're going to abandon me and I'll be alone. What's the pain of not helping that's bigger than the pain of helping, if that makes sense. And then that will make that a lot more specific thing to tap on for you. So I'm going to wait until you give me that answer to address yours. So I'm going to scoot down. High stress. And blocking myself from love. Okay, we've got some more suggestions. E, trusting my twin flame journey, feeling more serene. Okay. Feeling bad for not acting quickly on career development. Okay. So I am going to take this from the angle of, there's multiple things that I feel like fit into this category, but the high stress. Marie specifically said high stress, which is leading to an outcome of stomach issues for Marie. So one thing that tapping really helps with is, and this is so common, everybody does this. When we have an overwhelming issue, one of the first things we do is judge that issue. So I'm angry. I'm a bad person for being angry. I'm embarrassed because I'm angry. I'm whatever, because I'm angry. So you're over here with all these emotions, and the actual reason that you're angry is not even getting addressed. So being able to tap and release these things allows you to actually focus on where you're going to find your solution. So I want to tap from that angle. So I want you to consider if you have a phrase that's better for you than high stress, such as whatever, Dan, the feeling, you say feeling bad, but feeling bad how? You're feeling guilty, you're feeling not good enough, you're feeling uh, unwise, you're feeling, whatever word you would put to that other than bad. Try to be a little bit more descriptive with it. Um, and we're just going to tap on acceptance first. It really is the beginning key. It's why we have the setup statement that we do for tapping. So, okay, guilty, good, okay. And if that word changes for you, Dan, you can switch that as we tap. If you're like, well, it doesn't feel like guilty anymore. Now it feels like, absolutely follow anything that shifts like that for you. So, all right, let's get going. As I focus in on this issue and I realize I have a lot of feelings towards myself about it, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even if, as I say that, those words are really hard for me to say and I don't believe them at all, I'm still going to choose to deeply and completely accept myself. I don't accept myself. I do accept myself. I can't accept myself. It's not safe to accept myself. I haven't earned accepting myself. I don't deserve to accept myself. Even if I have one or all of these reasons for me to not accept myself, I hold space and try to accept myself as much as I can right now. But I wonder, why would I? Why would I try so hard to accept myself? Why would I try to accept myself before I make things better? Before I'm acceptable in my own eyes? It doesn't make sense. Maybe I'm afraid. Maybe I'm afraid that if I accept myself the way that I am now, I'm saying I'm okay with the way things are, and I'm not okay with the way things are. Maybe if I agree to accept myself with the way things currently are, I'm afraid that nothing will change and I'll remain here. And I don't want that. Maybe it's because I don't trust myself to get done what I feel like needs to get done if I accept myself right now. I wonder, where would I have learned that from? Who would have taught me these fears about accepting myself? Who would have taught me these really big consequences to accepting myself without limitations and circumstances? Learning these limitations, conditional self acceptance, learned conditions, self acceptance as an end goal, self acceptance as a pass Self-acceptance denied if I fail. Self-acceptance only if I'm worthy. Self-acceptance only if I prove myself. This perspective of self-acceptance okay, well, I may or may not know where this perspective came from, but I wonder, is it helping me? Is it helpful? Is it helpful for me to feel this way about myself? Does it really, truly motivate me? Does it really, truly keep me from making mistakes? Does it really, truly keep me from becoming complacent with things that I don't want? Or is it really damaging? Or is it really heavy? Or does it make me feel like things are much harder? My self-acceptance, my tools for accepting myself, my belief of accepting myself, support, punishment, empowerment, judgment. Well, maybe I don't know any other way to look at it. Maybe this is the only way I've ever been taught, and I've not even thought about it in this way before. Even if this is the first time I'm considering these aspects of how I do or do not accept myself, I'm open to seeing if I want it to be different. I'm open to being curious and changing something if it's a better fit. Okay, so let's say, for the sake of curiosity, for the sake of experimentation, I give myself permission to accept myself. I give myself permission to see myself with no judgment, no harsh words, no harsh emotions. Even if it's still a place that isn't quite what I want, I give myself permission to just be. And I don't need to explain myself. I don't need to hurt myself. I don't need to shame myself. I just accept it. Yep, here I am. Now what? As I hold space and try to deeply and completely accept myself, I give myself permission to look again at this issue that's in front of me. As I think about this issue that I have. And I deeply and completely accept myself. I wonder, what is something that I could do that would offer me support? What is something that I could give myself that would make it easier for me to try to shift? Because maybe I've tried really muscling through, and maybe I've tried writing out tasks and journeys on the basis of my fear, on the basis of other hard emotions. But have I tried telling myself, yeah, this is hard, but I'm here? Have I tried telling myself, yeah, I don't know what to do yet, but it's okay? Maybe if I try something different, that's more gentle, that's more loving, I can find little bits of that along the way. Even if right now I don't have a complete solution, if I allow myself this little bit of a solution here to feel better right now, maybe I'll continue to find those. My support. My solution. This issue. My support. This issue. My self-acceptance. This issue. My self-love. Okay. It sounds nice, but how do I actually apply that? Well, maybe it's as simple as when I come to a decision, I remind myself, okay, here I am. What can I do that will help me feel supported and that will help me to feel like I'm offering myself love and acceptance? And I choose an action from that space. Maybe it's as simple as I drink more water through the day and I give myself a few minutes of time to stretch my body. Maybe it's I let myself cry as many times as I feel like I need to cry, and I don't ever tell myself it's too much. Maybe it's I allow myself all of my feelings about this complicated thing that I'm going through. Whatever ways that pop into my head to begin to offer myself support and acceptance, even before I have any type of solution, I'll give it a go. And if it works for me, if it feels good, then I can keep trying. And I may have a lot of ideas right now. I may not have any ideas right now. I may feel like this is all so new, I don't even know how to begin. Whether or not I have a plan or I'm still really unsure about this, I choose to deeply and completely accept myself and to find ways to move forward in that space. And I recognize this is different. It's a new habit. It's a new try. And I may be really good at it. I may be terrible at it at first. Whether I'm really good at it or really terrible at it, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself and acknowledge how much I appreciate myself for trying. This issue, my self-acceptance, this issue, my new try, this issue, my new perspective, this issue, my different outcome, this issue, my self-acceptance. And as I move forward in this, in whatever way feels supportive and comfortable for me, I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay. Take a deep breath. So take just a moment and tune back into, and we didn't do this so much at the very beginning, but just think about that issue as opposed to how you felt about it right when we first started tapping, and just feel how your body is and see if it impacts you a little bit less in your body, a little bit less in your mind. See if you feel just a little bit less of a reaction when you think about it. If so, it's a really positive sign that your subconscious brain is starting to agree with you and looking at it in a different way. And if not, don't worry. That doesn't mean that you did it wrong or that you failed. It just means that a different aspect of it is something that your brain is asking for and looking for. None of this is ever a waste. All of it is a good communication. You're always building a relationship. But that big unhook, that big relief, the big release just means that you were able to really hone in on something that was bigger. But even if it's a small, subtle shift, it's still a really positive move forward. And every time you tap, you are teaching your subconscious brain that, hey, I want to communicate with you. I want to talk with you. And that's always positive because you're strengthening that bond. Okay. I'm going to go back to your comments. Your questions are helpful. Okay. My sister's difficult. Ask for my help from time to time. Difficult to help her as well. As not help her considering. Okay. So what I'm feeling, you're very welcome, Dan. Hi, Paula. Okay, and Paula's got a quick question, so I'm going to answer that before we go into our next tab. I start tapping on the karate chop, which is the side of the hand point. I start yawning just a few seconds after. Does someone else experience that? Paula, lots of people experience that. I do that all the time. Yawning is a great example of your body giving you a release. It is a sign of your body alleviating stress. It could be specific stress. It could be something that your brain is going, oh, yay, I'm glad that that's gone. It just overall general stress, because what this does, like this actual, the mechanics of tapping on your body. I'm going to nerd out on you guys. I usually don't go into explanations, but I want to right now. is you're sending a signal to your brain that this is new information. So it's going, ooh, what's that? What is this that we're feeling? Because it needs to analyze it to see if it's a threat. Your subconscious brain translates this motion as relieving, as relaxing, as pleasing. So if you're tapping and a few seconds later you're yawning, that's great, because that means that communication is being accepted by your subconscious brain, and you're already seeing a benefit and a shift from your efforts. So it's a really positive thing for you. And if you're, it's great for you to know that you yawn and releasing. Not everybody does, but a lot of people do. Then as you're tapping, you can kind of see that and use that as a sign. You've been tapping for 10 minutes and then you find something, you're like, oh, this is related here. Then that's a good signal to you that you found something that your brain is now going, oh, well, we don't need to be stressed about that anymore, and is able to release that. So I hope that's helpful. Positive energy to lead a discussion this evening. Oh, that's great, Karen. You've got a lot of support for yawning in the chat. Everyone's chiming in. So, okay, let me get back on track here. Okay, I wanted to do more of a specific tap on who I'm supposed to be. Okay, it's a slightly different angle of what we just did. We did a little bit on withholding, right? Withholding because there's these certain barriers that these criteria that I must meet. But more of a, who am I? And who am I if I change my behavior? Who am I if I do this or don't do that? And the ways that can really get in the way. So you're very welcome, Paula. Oh, and thank you. So let's do that. And then I would love to do a positive aspect tapping for what Karen brought up, for just the collecting positive energy. I love the way you phrase that. All right. So how do I want to phrase this? So working on identity. So go ahead and think of a circumstance where, see, because it's not always apparent that that's what's happening, where you feel compelled to do something even though you don't really want to. It could be where you don't feel like talking to a lot of people, but you feel like in this circumstance, whatever that is, you have to be an extrovert. You don't feel like being polite. There's someone that you don't like, but you do anyway. You deal with them in a way that is frustrating for you internally, but externally, you feel like you have to behave in a certain way. Helping someone, if you feel like, oh, but it's pointless to help. It's enabling to help. It's doesn't do any good to help, but you still do anyway. So anything where what you feel and think inside of your head doesn't align with your outward behavior is a good place to start with that. If you don't have something like that in mind that you can think of off the top of your head, you could choose something super small, like smiling, at someone in public, like why do I choose into these behaviors? And let's just go from that, choosing behaviors. Okay. As I consider this behavior that I do, I deeply and completely accept myself. As I consider this behavior that I feel conflicted about, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. As I Feel the feelings that I have about this conflicting behavior of mine. I deeply and completely accept myself. And I wonder, why do I do that? Why would I feel one way but behave in a different way? Is it that I believe there's a benefit that I'm receiving by acting differently than I actually feel? Is it that I'm afraid I'm going to be judged in being something or someone that I'm not if I don't behave in this expected way? Is it that I have a vulnerability and deep down, I'm afraid that it will be true about me? And I'm trying to fix that before I really have to ask myself that question because I don't want it to be true when I give the answer. Whatever reason it is that I'm behaving differently than I actually feel, I resolutely choose to deeply and completely accept myself. I accept it because there's a reason, even if right now I'm unclear on what that reason is. There's a reason for my behavior. And I trust that when I made the decision to begin this behavior, there was a good reason for it. And maybe that good reason still exists, and maybe it doesn't. But whether or not I'm aware of a good reason for this shift, this denial in behavior, I choose to put aside all of the emotions connected to it and become curious about it. I wonder, what is it that I believe would happen if I behaved 100%, no filters, in the way that I really feel in that moment, in these moments? What would happen? My behavior, my actions, my thoughts, my intentions, my beliefs, my desires, my ability, my connection, me, who I am. I wonder, does this possibly go deeper than this interaction with other people? It would make sense for me to have concerns about how I'm perceived. It's okay for me to have that. And it would make sense for me to not want to feel like a bad person or a selfish person or a self centered person or whatever perception I am afraid of portraying. But if I release the idea that anybody else involved really has any power or control over what I'm concerned about, is it possible I could discover something about me? Do I feel I'm still trying to prove that I'm a good person? Do I feel I'm still trying to prove that I'm enough? Do I feel I'm still trying to prove that I have value and worth? And if I do feel like I'm still trying to prove myself, does this situation feel like a threat to that? Does this situation feel like a challenge? Like it's drawing attention to that and it's uncomfortable because I'm not ready for that answer. I'm not ready to be judged for that yet because I don't feel like I've reached it. If I do in fact feel any or all of these things, I choose to deeply and completely accept myself. After all, it makes sense because everybody's born, not being worthy and not having value and not being lovable and not being acceptable, right? I mean, every baby, that's like the first concern you have as a toddler, right? No, no, that's not accurate. So I wonder, when would I have picked this up? When would I have determined that someone else has so much control over this part of my life, over how I'm judged, over how I'm worthy or not worthy, over how I'm perceived? It's possible for this to feel really big and really confusing, and maybe going into a lot of personal history that will take a while to go through. I wonder, do I have to sort all of that out before I can feel different? Do I have to choose this as my pathway? Yes, I do. No, I don't. I have no idea if there are any other pathways. Whether I feel like I'm completely empowered, not empowered at all, or just completely clueless, I deeply and completely accept myself, and I hold space to feel more clear about this. I wonder, what if I just chose to believe in myself? What if I just chose to say, it's been enough? It's been enough And I do believe that I'm a good person. And I do believe that I'm smart enough, that I'm capable enough, that I'm fast enough, that I'm worthy enough. I'm enough. And if I wanted to start to support that, I could find ways to try it out. Little experiments, just small things where I can choose to act from that space. But what would that look like? Maybe it would look like when I'm faced in a situation where I feel like someone else has the power to determine my worth and I have to behave a certain way to maintain what I want to be, I can pause and I can say, how do I respond to this in a way that's true to me, that honors what I'm feeling inside and allows me to maintain the truth of that outside? Maybe it's holding a boundary. Maybe it's just acknowledging that a boundary should be there. That's a step. And it's okay if that's my first step, even if the outcome doesn't change at first. I can accept little steps of progress. And I can accept my own acknowledgement of what I want to be considered a step. Okay, so what would other steps be? Placing a small boundary, acknowledging my own feelings, maybe speaking up, and maybe it doesn't go so well. Maybe I can still accept that. Because maybe I'm also learning. And learning is good, even if learning is messy. And me not executing it perfectly the first time isn't a reason for me to not try again. And maybe I can release the expectation that the reaction of the other person or people is my pass-fail line. Maybe I can allow them to have their own reactions. And instead of trying to control the outcome by people pleasing or some other method so that I can feel good, it's okay for me to just choose to feel good and to know that I am honorable and I am doing what I truly believe to be right. And if the other person gets upset with me, that may feel hard. It may feel sad. It may feel angering. And it's okay for me to have emotions about how other people respond. And I can acknowledge that that then gives me another chance to respond as what is true for me. And even if I feel defensive, I feel insulted, I can choose to acknowledge myself and say, but what way honors me to move forward? And maybe it's a boundary, and maybe it's an expression of love. Maybe it's going and expressing these hurt feelings in a different space to someone that I trust. My actions, my inner feelings, acknowledging myself, hearing myself, allowing myself space to be my pass fail, allowing their self space to be their own expression, allowing every single emotion that I have about it. It's okay for me to feel. Allowing me to move forward in a way that I feel is true for me. It's okay for me to choose. Small steps. Beginning steps. And as I continue to think this over and allow myself to become clear on what it is I want to attempt first, I choose right now to already deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, take a breath. I hope that feels better. The things that we've tapped on are pretty deep foundational issues and considerations, which don't normally get completely unhooked in a single tapping, especially one that isn't the focus the entire time. But what I do hope it has offered you is maybe a different way of thinking about something, a new insight, a new perspective, something that as you were tapping lit up for you and you went, well, I love that phrase. It's a great clue for you when things like that happen. And if something triggered you, or you were like, oh, I don't like that she said that, that's also a clue. Anything that feels like a threat, anything that feels like you have to defend against, is typically a sign of the subconscious brain saying, don't address that. That is not safe for us to shift. When we get that message from the subconscious brain, what it's trying to tell us is that I don't have enough support for this shift. So trying to tell yourself, I do love myself. I do see my own value. And you don't feel that at all. That can feel gross. That can feel disingenuous to say. And that's just the subconscious brain saying, I don't have enough support to buy into this yet. But it's still a good thing to know, because then you can continue to move forward from there and tap and say, even though I'm not feeling this at all right now, I hold space to feel it. Because then your subconscious brain goes, so we're still looking for it. Okay. So I hope that's helpful. Okay. We've got just a little bit of time. I want to end on the positive tap. So let's go ahead and I'm going to tap here. I just feel like tapping. I like to tap close to my heart for emotional things and especially positive things. So tap wherever you feel most comfortable. As I come to the end of this tapping session, I give myself permission to focus in on feeling good, on feeling really good, on feeling supported and feeling seen and feeling loved, even if it's by complete strangers, even if it's by someone that I haven't met in person yet. Those emotions are real and they are freely shared and given by other people. And I give myself permission to be open to receive them right now, to receive them from those that I know and receive them from those that I don't know. I allow myself to freely receive all of the positive and good and happy vibrations that are coming my way. As I open myself to receive these things, I feel them landing in my body. I want you to focus on where you're feeling them. I feel these positive energies flowing in through this place in my body. And I see the color of this energy as it flows in. And I see this energy expanding in my body, going all the way down my arms, out through my fingers, all the way down my torso into my hips, all the way down my legs, out through my toes, and all the way up my neck, out through the top of my head. I'm glowing with this energy. I am so full of this energy that it's creating a glowing orb around me. It's emanating out from beyond my skin. And as it fills me, I feel my body physically responding to this energy. I feel it releasing and relaxing, feeling lighter and happier, releasing pain and releasing tension and receiving relaxation and receiving healing and receiving love. And as I receive this, then I wonder, how much of this can I have? Well, surely there's a finite amount. What if there was so much of this energy, I could continue to absorb it as much as I am right now for the rest of my life. And it wouldn't even put a dent in all of the positive energy that exists. What if I took this positive energy and allowed it to fill me every time I thought of it? Well, but wouldn't that be a little selfish of me? Well, I wonder, how would that be selfish? There's plenty to go around for everybody. And isn't it true that as I allow myself to receive this positivity, I get to share it? I get to glow it out to other people, to my environment. Isn't it in fact true that it's helpful for me to absorb this positivity? It's helpful for me to absorb this nurture and this love and this kindness. And since it's being given to me so freely, isn't it also a sign of love for me to receive it? Isn't it a sign of gratitude for me to receive it? I accept this gift of love, this gift of connection with these beautiful, positive intentions. And I give myself permission to continually receive it every moment of every day for the rest of my life. And if I forget and I tune back into it, I give myself permission to grab it up. And even if I'm feeling other emotions at the same time, I still give myself permission to feel full of love, to feel full of connection, and to feel full of this positive energy that is flowing my way. And as I allow this into my life, I deeply and completely accept myself. Let's take a breath while you're still tapping. Okay, and stop. Yay! I always love how that feels. Always makes me so happy. And that was about a 4-minute tap. So think about just the difference you feel from the beginning of that to the end of it. And just doing that on a daily basis can really, truly make a difference in your physical biology. And if you're wondering how, there are a lot of videos about that on our YouTube page. So you can look that up. It's EFT Universe if you want to check out those videos. I hope you have a wonderful week. Thank you so much for being here with me for our tapping this week. I'm always live on Tuesdays at 1 p.m. Pacific time. I hope to see you again next week. I will be thinking about you.